Naptown! I love that Chris Broussard bit. Naptown! I need one of them buttons. Coming to you pre-recorded from Indianapolis, Indiana. It's Dave's Doozies. And before we do the Game 7 preview, I ran out of time on my last video. It's not going to be that long, so forgive me. But the Pacers had 19 more field goal attempts than the Thunder did Game 6. We had more threes. We had more rebounds. OKC had more than 20 turnovers. We only had 10 turnovers. We had 10 more assists. We've been having more assists all series. Both teams only shot 40% field goal percentage. So let's look back throughout the series. Game 1 to Game 6. This has been back and forth. This has been great basketball. They've been mimicking each other. And I expect the Pacers to win Game 7. And when they do that, they would have won back-to-back games just like the Thunder won back-to-back games when both of these teams were hard to beat back-to-back times. Pacers had a comeback victory in Game 1. The Thunder had a comeback victory in Game 4. Thunder had a belt-to-ass game in Game 2. We just had our belt-to-ass game in Game 6. This is excellent basketball, man. And so I expect the Thunder to come out strong in Game 1. Right? Like I said that in my last video. I expect the Thunder to come out strong. It's possible that the Pacers could win the game from opening to end. But, Jalen Williams and SGA are for real. And I expect them to come out strong and us to weather the storm and come back and win. We're the most clutch team in postseason history. So let's look at this Game 7 preview. Okay, you can look at the NBA. You got SGA and Jalen Williams. You could argue are the two best players on the court, right? Maybe you could put Siakam over Jalen Williams. I'm trying to be respectful here, though. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, SGA and Jalen Williams are the best player on the court. Chet Holmgren was the Thunder's third best scorer coming into the game. Lou Dort is a great defender and can hit the corner three. Hartenstein was starting all playoffs before he's being benched games 1 and 2 and possibly 3. I don't remember. But he started last game. Who knows if he starts again? They might start Caruso. They started Caruso to start the second half of Game 6. So you got Isaiah Hartenstein was your in the top 5 scorers, because SGA and Jalen Williams get most of those points. I did the NBA finals preview. If you want to get specific on the numbers, they're all in that video. I'm not going to be doing it in this one. So SGA and Jalen Williams. Chet is third. Caruso and Hartenstein are 4th and 5th. Dort's really a defender. I mean, Dort's a hell of a defender, too. Let's not underestimate or undersell his ability to play defense because he's by far their best. He's the best defender on the court. As good as Nesmith and Nembhard are, Dort's better. But it's a team game. You got to play team defense. But one of my kids, I don't want to sound. I sound kind of ridiculous. The Thunder are supposed to be the best defense ever. All right. But anyway, so you got SGA, Jalen Williams, Chet, Lou Dort, Isaiah Hartenstein. You got Alex Caruso, who's probably due for a big game. Hartenstein's due for a big game. You could make an argument all the Thunder players are due for a big game, right, after that stinker they just had in Game 6. But Hartenstein has struggled all series, and then Caruso's only had like 3 good games maybe. But you got Aaron Wiggins, who's both of his great games were at Oklahoma City. They're going to need Aaron Wiggins to show up big time. He's one of their 3-point, Thunder's not a great 3-point shooting team because Dort, Chet's been shut down. Jalen Williams and SGA aren't really 3-point shooters, but they can hit 3 when they're in rhythm and stuff. Dort and Wiggins are really their 3-point shooters. Cason Wallace can hit 3s. Caruso can hit 3s. Chet can hit 3s. But they're not as good as the Pacers at hitting 3-pointers. But Aaron Wiggins is going to need to be huge. Cason Wallace is a guy I've liked throughout the season and throughout the series. He may not be flashy, but he plays good defense. He takes care of the ball. He distributes. He can hit. He can get going and score more than 10 points. You got Kenrich Williams for the Thunder, Isaiah Joe, and then you got Auntie Jalen Williams is what Jerry calls him. So that's your rundown of the Thunder's roster. I mean, they're considered the best team and they're favored all series. The Thunder are 18-2 off a loss, which reminds me of the undefeated Patriots. So with that being said, then we got the Pacers. You got Halliburton and Siakam, who's supposed to be your two best players. Halliburton's playing inspirational, being able to play through that calf. He looked great in Game 6. Pascal Siakam. You got Miles Turner, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, T.J. McConnell. If he plays great in Game 7, I wouldn't be surprised if T.J. McConnell's just that much of a fan favorite and he's that popular. Nobody dislikes T.J. I feel like I might be the T.J. McConnell's biggest hater, and I love him to death, right? If I'm being honest with myself, of all the times I've ever hated on T.J. McConnell, I don't even want to admit it on video. That's why I will admit as much as I'm probably T.J. McConnell's biggest hater, and I love T.J. Go TJ, that's my TJ. But I'm saying, if he's gonna fuck around and win Finals MVP, be the first bench player to ever win Finals MVP, and nobody would question it. The stats don't necessarily back it up, but the eye test certainly does. You got Obi Toppin. There's no stopping Obi Toppin. I mean, what a hell of a year he's had. And Ben Mathurin's been kind of a letdown in the finals, if we're being honest. He hasn't got a whole lot of playing time. But we know what he's capable of. He's 22. He just turned 23. It's his first year in the playoffs. And this is all about roles. You play role, you hear NBA veterans and players talk about it. This is a game where players play roles. And right now, Mathurin is doing his best to play the role that he's been given. And he struggles with it at times, but you're playing a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder in your first year in the playoffs, and you still managed to have a Game 3 where you scored 27 points and came away as the story for that game. So, and when you look at it like that, he's who knows? It's Game 7. He's got one more chance to make the most of his minutes, just like Aaron Wiggins, right? And then, of course, we got the mustache, Ben Shepherd. Tony Bradley's played some huge minutes. He's just a long body that we can throw on Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein when they're bullying us on the rebounds, which he's come up huge for us. And then before, Thomas Bryant hasn't got a whole lot of playing time in this series, but don't forget, he was the hero in the Knicks series and to close out the Knicks. So all that being said, don't forget what I said before the series. Think about every greatest regular season team we've ever seen, with the Warriors that lost, the undefeated Patriots that lost. There's a lot of great regular season teams that didn't close the deal in the championship game. And for both of these teams, you're only as good as your weakest link. Halliburton is inspirational. Siakam, the finals experience. Miles, the Pacers experience. Andrew Nembhard, playoff Drew, has made some huge buckets in the postseason, his postseason career. You got Aaron Nesmith, the flamethrower, hit all those. He's the 3-point master. T.J. McConnell, the heart and soul. There's no stopping Obi Toppin. Mathurin better be better than Caruso. Shepherd, do better than Aaron Wiggins, please. I mean, what can really be said at this point when you got Game 7? Going into Game 7, what can really be said? I mean, you could rewatch my finals preview. The only thing that's different is Halliburton's calf strain, which we just found out in Game 6 isn't necessarily a big deal at this point in time anyway. It's going to be a huge deal to keep our eyes on throughout the game. So, again, we got SGA and Jalen Williams. Got Siakam and Halliburton. We got the Miles versus Chet matchup that I've been talking about before the series, throughout the series, last video, and I'm going to bring it up again. I think it's a big deal because Chet Holmgren's their third biggest scorer for the Thunder, and we've shown in the 3 games that we won, we don't necessarily need Miles to score. Every time we win, Chet is getting dominated. He's too little. Chet Holmgren's too little, and he has to stay too little. As I said in my video before, if Chet Holmgren goes off and gets loose and the Thunder win, all that defense on Chet was for nothing. We can't let Chet Holmgren be the reason we lose the finals. You got Aaron Nesmith and Lou Dort. You got Nesmith plays better offense. Dort plays better defense. They're both considered defenders, but Dort plays better defense, and Nesmith scores more points per game than Dort does. You got Nembhard and Hartenstein. They're not the same position, but we're just talking about roles here and how the players balance out and how we've gotten to Game 7. And so, Nembhard and Hartenstein, those guys, both of these guys, and what they do and how they produce in Game 7 is going to have a big deal. And who wins? You got Caruso and Toppin, T.J. McConnell, Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Benedict Mathurin, Ben Shepherd, Isaiah Joe, Tony Bradley, and Thomas Bryant. Who's going to be the hero? Every player for both teams will matter. Every basket will matter. I said before the series, I tried to tell you it wasn't as lopsided as they sold it. It wasn't the vague offense versus defense narrative they tried to paint. You got the 2 best teams in the league. East versus West. Game 7, baby. So we know what SGA and Jalen Williams are probably going to show up. We need Siakam to show up. If Haliburton plays inspirational and takes care of the ball, playmaking, assists, and then if you got Miles and Chet canceling each other out, that's when it becomes, this is a team game. The best team will win. Not the best players, the best team. So that's why Nesmith normally outscores Dort. Nembhard needs to outscore Hartenstein. Toppin, hold your own against Caruso. And T.J. McConnell, keep being T.J. McConnell. You're going to fuck around and be the first bench player to win Finals MVP. But you always have guys like Cason Wallace and Aaron Wiggins who play their best in OKC. It's gonna be good, man. Okay, so before we bring this home, I want you to remember something. That the Thunder were the 6th biggest favorites in the finals. The last 40 years, the Thunder was the 6th biggest favorite in the finals over the last 40 years. The Pacers was already the most clutch team in postseason history coming into the finals. Now the Pacers can be the biggest upset in finals history. And like I've said already, this series, it didn't have to be like that. Y'all didn't have to disrespect it. This wasn't as disrespectful as it's going to go down in history. And it's not because what we did wasn't phenomenal. It's because y'all never gave us the respect that we deserved. And we started this whole playoff run saying we was going to take y'all's respect. Rick Carlisle's experience, Haliburton's inspirational play, the Pacers' team chemistry, the ball movement, the 3-point advantage. I really believe we're about to pull this off. I said I'm sorry, casuals. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but tonight we're gonna win the finals. I said I'm sorry, casuals. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to make you cry, but tonight we're gonna win the finals. And I'm stunting like my Pacers, stunting like my Pacers, stunting like my Pacers. I'll be stunting like my Pacers. I'm the young doozy, stunting like my Pacers, stunting like my Pacers. I'll be stunting like my Pacers. Hey, DJ, bring that back. When I move, you move. Yeah, man, check it out. I got videos. Made a video closing out we're gonna win the finals. I called it back in about a month or so ago. I've been saying it, man. This team's going to win the finals, bro. So there's that video of I want you to remember this when we win the finals. You can check that out. I gotta remember what the Pacers shout out video, and check out the videos I made before games, like after Game 5, going into Game 6. Um, I've been telling y'all, man, crazier things have happened. I tried to warn you about how, it's just a calf strain. He could fuck around and come out and look good, and it's a series again. And sure enough, that's the best case scenario is what happened for the Pacers. And our prayers are still up for Halliburton. We want him to finish the game. I feel like even if he were to get hurt, that would inspire the team to win the game. We already got Halliburton to Game 7. He's going to start Game 7, and as far as we know, he's going to look good until he doesn't, or if he doesn't. With the ball movement, I think we got the Thunder shook. The Thunder's going to play great. Their Jalen Williams and SGA is great. I'm supposed to say that league MVP SGA first, and then say Jalen Williams is great. We're almost there. We're about to win our first ever NBA championship. I can't believe it, man. And I'll be making one more video of the Game 7 reaction, win or lose. I love it. This is great. I can't wait till Sunday.